doing? It's Julia. Before I start my project for the week, I wanted just to hop on and welcome all my new subscribers. I've gotten a lot of subscribers in the last 2 months, and welcome and thank you. This is a wonderful sewing community, a lot of information shared, and I'm just happy to have you aboard. A little bit about myself and a little bit about my channel. I have two little craft shops. I have an Etsy shop, and then I have a summer shop that's part of my local town's flea market, and which is open, like I said, in the summer, just on the weekends. But most everything in my shop is things that either I've made, and then I do have a couple other artists in there too, but it's all handmade. And so all year round, I am working on product for that shop and then also my Etsy shop. And I'll link my Etsy shop down below if you want to look at it. But every week I share a project. It's just some things I work on, and it's most of my projects are, I don't follow directions or patterns. They're kind of more organic. So if you like that kind of thing, a little bit thinking outside the box, a lot of my things are thrifted or things that I just have and I just, use. And so welcome aboard. This week's project, a subscriber gifted me with just a lot, like a couple dozens of these cuffs. And they are the little button does say the American Eagle Outfitters, and so they're American Eagle brand. I'm not sure why she had so many cuffs. She must be an artist herself or upcycles or whatever. And I know that you may not be able to have these cuffs, but you can maybe thrift a denim shirt or something. And I think this project is just really quick and whimsical, and they're just really, really cute. The cuffs came to me already cut off. I washed them to help with the fraying. Denim I know frays quite well. So when these were cut off, there was probably a ½ inch or so of the fabric left on. And then again, I frayed them. So they came out like this. As I was going along, I knew I wanted just to decorate a lot of these just for just a cuff to wear. It has 2 buttonholes already in place, but they just didn't quite work. And plus, it's so hard to button these when it's on you. And so what I did was I cut off where the 2 buttonholes are and then put an elastic on, and I got these on Amazon. I'll link these down below along with some of the other supplies as I go. Just, there's for a resource if you want. But these are the smaller little, it's probably a ponytail bands, and a ton of different colors. And a lot of my stuff, is colorful or whatever. So I just kind of, they're working really well for my little button loop. Keeping the original button on. If you're using like a cuff on a shirt, you might want to make change the button out into a funky button. But I do like these American Eagle metal buttons that are on here. So I'm just leaving that. So what a simple project, because half of it's already done for you. And so that is what we're working on today. I think I'm going to try to get 3 of them. I'm just going to speed it up so you can kind of see me laying it out and how I finish them off. And my first step is doing the cutting, and I'm cutting right beside that last buttonhole. They measure approximately 7.5 to 8 inches after they're cut. So you have a guideline if you want to create one of these cuffs yourself. And then I'm just putting that elastic band in there, just sticking it inside. There is a little bit of a seam on those, so that's going in first. And then I'm taking them to my sewing machine. I'm going to stitch back and forth several times. You can also zigzag that. The first one I'm going to work on, I'm going to use this sweater knit for the base. I picked this sweater knit up at the thrift store for a really good price, and has a lot of texture and a really fun colors. Then I just have some random fibers that I'm going to use. Also this buckle, I believe it's a Bakelite older buckle. And then this funky green bead. And I have a little story on that green bead. Next to me at the flea market is a Native American man. His name is Dan. He's just really cool, and he sells native art, and he sells a lot of beads. He lives by himself, and we barter. He gives me beads in return for mending his jeans. And so I have my sewing machines at the flea market anyway, and so he just brings his jeans and I patch them for him, and then I just get to pick out some beads from his fun little shop. So I love being able to do that kind of thing, and just helping each other out. Yeah, it's just kind of neat to be able to do that. I'm just grabbing a couple of these fibers, and I'm just going to also take those and put them underneath that little buckle. And then I'm going to lay this aside, and I'm going to work on this on the next one. Now for this one, I'm deciding to use some of this twisted fabric cord. I have a video where I show how I make this. I'm just going to coil it up, but I'm going to share that video down below for you if you want to see. I'm at my sewing machine and I'm going to do that coiling. So I just cut a little piece of that twisted fabric cord off. I have my machine set at zigzag, and I'm just going to go around and around this. Having a little bit of a problem getting it started, but then once I'm going, I'm just going to turn it with my fingers and then zigzag this into a coil. And here's what it looks like, and it ended up having a center hole in it, and I use that to my advantage in a little bit. I have silk ribbon here that I'm just laying out, and I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I thought maybe I'd put some more of that twisted fabric cord on there. Trying to decide what colors I like. That elastic that I use is kind of a yellowish green color, so I'm trying to bring some of that color into this. But then I realized that hole, I'm just gonna use that. I'm gonna stick some of this silk ribbon through that on both sides. It's really simple, and that's basically all I do. I'm going to just take it to the sewing machine like this. I'm deciding whether I want to put a button on it or not. I'll put a link these down below too. These are wooden craft buttons, but they're really funky. I just really like them. I use them a lot in some of my projects, and I do end up using one of them. You'll see it at the end. And then the last one, again, this is another one of Dan's beads. I'm so lucky to be able to get these, but just really a great little piece. It really adds a focal point to this. Now remember, I like adding a focal point, but I also like adding a lot of texture on these cuffs. And so some of this really fuzzy yarns are great to use. And again, I just, through the hole in that bead, I'm just going to put those three different fibers. I'm just laying them on this tray, and I'm going to take them to my sewing machine. I'm putting these on just with my free motion foot and just going to free motion stitch these. The hardest part about this is making sure that nothing gets caught in my presser foot. So I have my feed dogs dropped, and this is my free motion foot. I use black thread in the bobbin for all of these, and right now I have black thread on the top, just all-purpose thread. And I'm just catching all those fibers. I'm going to change now to this red thread. This is it is variegated. There's a couple different colors of red, and I'm going to be doing the same thing, just trying not to catch any of these fibers in the wrong place and trying to get them underneath my presser foot as best I can. And then getting as close as I can to this center bead, and then just working my way out. I'm not paying attention at all to what my stitches look like. You don't really even see them that well. They just add texture to the whole outside, the whole cuff. Again, changing my thread again. This is a multicolored in teals and greens. And just doing the same thing, getting as close as I can to that focal point in the center. And then just getting everything stitched down. Just wanted to do some trimming on these, some ends that I don't have, that just stuck out beyond the cuff. Now it's to my, I'm going to just hand stitch those and that buttons on and that bead on. I did choose this pink button for this one. Just love it. I think this is my favorite of them all. I hope you enjoyed this, everybody. Have some pictures at the end. And I'll have these in my Etsy store. And again, I want to thank the person who sent these to me. I'm just, like you said in your little note, that to have fun with them, and I really am having a blast. I hope everybody has a chance to create this week. Bye for now.